bet you are a lot like me. When you sit down to pray, you sit down to do Bible study or devotion, whatever it is that you sit down to do, where you want to dedicate that time to Jesus, to God, to bettering yourself and your connection with Him, that you struggle. You struggle to focus. You struggle to concentrate. You struggle to make that connection because there's so much junk in your head. There's so much going on that it's hard to break through that and allow it to be just you and Jesus. That is exactly how I am, especially due to the fact that I have ADD. So that doesn't help anything. But even without ADD, we are like that because that's what our world is like. And the analogy is kind of like a stream that's running down the mountain. You don't see the source of it, but you see it come down, and it goes through the rocks, and it goes through the sand and the dirt and the obstacles, and then finally gets to its destination. That is what our time with God is like. We have so much dirt. We have so many rocks, so many obstacles that we can't focus. There's so much stuff going on in our head that we're not able to focus just on what God's trying to tell us, just on what we're trying to tell God. And it doesn't have to be that way. I really don't think so. And it's something that I'm focusing on right now. And the reason why it doesn't have to be that way, the reason why we know it doesn't have to be that way, because look at people who do yoga that can go to their yoga class or sit in their living room. And if they've done it long enough and they've meditated long enough and they learn how to be present with just themselves, they can get into that state in a heartbeat. Or looking at athlete, a real professional athlete, someone that's dedicated to their sport, when they step out on that court, that field, whatever it may be, they get in that zone. It's just them and their job that they have to do on that court, on that field. Our prayer life, our focus on God, our time with God can be the same way, and it should be. Let's look at that same stream that's coming down through the mountain, going through the sand, through the dirt, over the obstacles. That's what we're like. But look at that stream, look at that creek, and I'll put a pipe in the middle of it, where that pipe goes from the source to the destination, but it runs through that pipe. What's that pipe doing? That pipe is not allowing any of that junk, any of the dirt, obstacles, bugs to get in it. It's pure. It's straight from the source. It's also protecting it. It's protecting that water from anything that may come or anything that's going on. And it's allowing it to go faster, smoother, no obstacles in the way. That's what our prayer life should be like. Now, the question is, like, that sounds great, but how do you do that? Just like the basketball player, just like the person that does yoga and meditates. Practice. If your mindset going in is for it to be like that, is for it to be just focused on your time with God, it will be. So I think the first thing you have to do is tell God that. Of course He knows, but pray to Him saying, God, I'm going to set up a conduit for you and I, that the Holy Spirit can just run through with no obstacles and no filtration, just purely from the source to you. Tell God that's what your plan is. Tell God that I am going to set this up. I'm going to set this system, this conduit up, and this is the way it's going to be forever. Please use that. He wants to. It's just you have to get out of the way. It's not Him that's like, oh boy, these obstacles are just tough to get through. No. He's got a direct line to you, but you have to make that direct line. So when you sit down, tell Him that's what you're going to do. And every time you sit down, picture, visualize the information you're giving Him, and the information He's giving you is coming directly through that. Nothing else is getting in the way. I think that's something that I'm going to work on. I think that it's something that I truly believe will allow us to have a deeper, more direct connection with Christ.